So today we are going to discuss about access control. Java provides the control over the visibility of variables and methods. Here the encapsulation defines, for example, if you are using a capsule as a medicine, in that what you are going to do, the outside will be appearing as a capsule, but inside the powder will not be visible to the patient whoever taking the medicine. In a similar manner, encapsulation is a safety sealing data within the capsule of class, prevents programmers from relying on details of the class implementation, so you can able to update without worry. So what you are going to do in encapsulation, you are having a different methods like public, private and protected. If you are going to use a method public for class or a method, that will be visible for all the users. But if you are using a private or protected, what it means, particular content of the class will be protected. It won't be visible to the other users. For example, whenever you are a programmer is going to deliver a particular project to the end user, at that time he is going to deliver the project by in the form of jar file. JAR defines the Java archive file so that he can able to double click and execute the particular project. Whoever the end user is there, he doesn't aware of any particular code and content, how to use a code and how to compile a program, all the things he doesn't know. Only thing he need to do is he need to execute easier manner whatever the project you are going to deliver. So here we need a protection inside what you are going to send the another particular project, deliver the project. So we need a protection against accidental or wrong usage. For example, a particular customer is going to enter the some special character, but you have mentioned a field called number. So number will be taken, but you are going to enter a special character. At that time, some particular thing, unexpected things will be happen. So for example, divide by 0. So which is going to create a error or an exception. So we need to maintain some exception code handling, but what we need to do is we need to take care. So what are the particular sensitive data we are having in our program? We need to hide that particular sensitive data, whatever the data is there. So we need to keep that particular data in the form of private or protected. For example, what is the sensitive data for a user? Password. Password is a sensitive data. We need to keep in the form of private or protected. So now public. Basically, public is a access modifier. So where you can able to use this public key so that you can able to define once and you can able to execute anywhere. For example, if you are using a public keyword in front of class, that class can be extensible. So for example, that class can be extended to another class. It supports the inheritance. For example, if you are going to write a private class, that class will not be inherited. So next, if you are writing a public in front of method, that will be inherited. If you are not defining a particular class as a public, if you are defining a variable or method by the public, that will be allowed. So if you are not specifying at the time, it behaves like a public. So why? Because so every class without declaration defines as a public. So that is the main thing in the public. The default public keyword applied to a class makes it available or visible everywhere. Applied to a method or variable, completely visible. Private field. So private means which is given for the programmer only. So what are the fields are sensitive? For example, passwords. For example, rates. Rates should be rates in a stock market should be modified by the some people only, admin only. So this should not be changed. For example, you are having a particular market. So for supermarket, what you are going to do? You need to change the admin has to change the all the fields. So other people has to enter that particular fields by showing a barcode reader. Admin has to change the everyday prices. So that fields will be kept as a private, so that only a specific admin can be modified who is having a permission to access that particular class. Next one is protected. Protected member of a class are visible within the class. Subclasses also within all classes that are same package as that class. So protected means somewhat inherited. It means by having a specific permissions like a package. Package defines what is a package. Package means similar to your folder. So within a folder you are going to organize some things. For example, in C drive you are going to name as a programs. So programs will be saved in C drive. In D drive you will be renaming as a entertainment. In a similar manner, within the drives you are going to organize some specific folders. For example, Hindi, English, Telugu, or some other languages, you are going to specify that things. So some things you are going to make as a protected means it can be accessible to the subclass, but only if it is in a same package. It means it is in a same folder, then it will be accessible. Outside the package, it is not accessible. So here, next one, visibility. So here, if you are going to check the visibility, here if you are going to notice, here we have declared a class, public class circle. Here we have declared a public as a class name. If you have not declared a public also, this particular thing will be working, because by default any class will be public. So if you are using outside the members, outside the package, you need to specify as a public. So the next thing here, what we have defined, private variables. The type of the data is double, and we have declared the three variables x, y, and r. Next, here we are going to define a constructor, that is circle. Here if you are going to check the class name is circle. So we have written the class name as a circle. So here we are having a constructor which is having a same name as a class name. So here we are having a class name is circle. Here we are having a circle which is having a same as a class name. A constructor with having a arguments is said to be a parameterized constructor. So what is default constructor? A constructor does not have any arguments, is said to be a default constructor. So here, if you are going to notice, here we are using a this keyword, this dot x equal to x. For example, why we are using is whatever the variables are passed by the parameter. Sometimes some private variables will be initialized. For example, x equal to 10. It is a private, it cannot be overwritten because the value will be fixed for a particular private variable. It cannot be changed. So at the time, sometimes here we can able to initialize whatever the parameter we are passing, x equal to 10, y equal to 10 in a similar manner. If you are using a this is a keyword. So where whatever the particular variable we are passing through the particular parameter, it is going to return that particular one. So here we are having a this dot y equal to y, this dot r equal to r. So now here we have created a particular method, public double circumference. So here circumference is a method which we are using, but the type is double. Here if it is a double is a void, so it doesn't need any return type, but the circumference we have declared as a double, it need to have return a value. So here we are going to use a value 2 into 2 pi r. 2 pi r. Pi value is 3.14. 2 into pi into r. So that need to be written to the circumference method. So next, double area. So here it is going to return the value 3.14 pi square, pi r square. Pi into pi is 3.14 r into r. So like that we are going to check. So the next method is reflection. So here we are using the method called previous method is visibility. Whenever we are going to invoke that particular kind is a visibility. Here we are using a method called reflection. So here we are having a class A, and here we are having a method called public void display. Here it is going to display a private method is invoked. Why? Because here we have given a particular method before as a private. We have declared void is a doesn't have any return type. Display is a method name. Here before that particular thing we have defined a public. So in this method it is going to print private method is invoked. So next here we have written another class private example 4. So this is another class. Here we are using a main method. In the previous class A, we doesn't have any main method. So here no main method is there. Only a class is there. But here we are having a main method. We can able to access the class A. And we need to invoke whatever the method of class A should be used in this class B, because with this particular class A doesn't have any main method. So now here we are having a public static void main. So here if you are going to notice, here we are using a exception handling code. So we are having a throws exception. So this we will discuss later, but what it is going to do is any particular argument, command line arguments accepted by the string, so are overflowing or something, so it is going to throw a exception. So for that purpose we are going to use a throws. Basically we are having a try, catch and throw exceptions. So we are using the throw exception, which will be used for the method, either main or a method. The next thing, here we are having a class C. So class C we have created. Here we are using a for name class A. So here the for name is used for whenever we want to use a particular drivers or some particular driver class objects, we are using a class for name. For example, class for name driver manager dot get connection. So that one is used for JDBC ODBC connection. So that one is a different issue. But here we are using another particular class object, and so here what we are going to do, we are going to interrelate. So here C is a object for class C. So class C. So what is class? So here we have used a private example 4. So here just we have given a particular method class C. So here object O equal to C dot new instance. So just we have taken a class. So class name class and C, so equal to class dot per name. So here what is that? A. So A is a particular object. So directly we are going to create an object for the particular class C. For example, here class A is there. Class C was not shown here, but class dot per name A. Here object, you can able to create an object O equal to C dot new instance. So for the particular class new instance, and again here we are using a method M equal to C. So C here we are using C dot get declared method display null. So M dot set accessible equal to true. And again, so here M dot invoke 0 comma null. So this is a particular kind of program whenever you want to use a reflection method. So whenever you want to use a private variable, for example, here you can able to use a method called display. So whenever if you want to use such certain kind of method or certain kind of things, what you are going to use, we need to interrelate the object indirectly. For example, here we have written a class name is C, but here what we are doing, class dot per name, we need to use a method A. We are going to interrelate this particular class to another class, but here this particular class may not present. Class C may not be present, but we are going to interrelate. This is a class name, for name equal to A, so that C will be taken into instance. So now we are going to create an object name O equal to C dot new instance. Here we have created a class C. Class C is interlinked by the class A. Here you are having a class A. So now basically how you are going to write in order to access a class A. class name is A. Next, you need to create object for A equal to new A. Basically, this is the type of program. For example, if you want to access this particular method, what we are going to use obj dot, what is the method name? Display. Whenever you are going to call the obj.display, it is going to invoke this particular method. It is going to print the system.out.println. Private method is invoked. But what is happening here? We have declared this private void display. This particular method is private. What is this method? This method is private. Void display. Void display is a private method. What we have declared here? Private. Private will not be used in a of one class, will not be used in another class. Either it is a variable, either it is a method. That will not be used in another class. So for that purpose, what we need to do is we are going to write a particular class name C, class name C, by using a method called class.forName equal. So here we are going to give the class name A. So A is a class name which is another class. Now we need to create an object O, so equal to C. So directly here we are using a C dot new instance. So in previous one, what we done? So here what we have done? We have created a class by using a object name. Class name is A, object equal to new A. So now by using a object dot display, we are going to invoke. But instead of doing that one, by using the method of reflection, what we are going to do is creating a dummy class and assigning the for name A and object O equal to C dot new instance. So that what is this new A? It is an instance of class. So instead of that one, what we have done? C dot new instance. So now again what we are going to do in order to access, so method M. So method M we are using for in order to invoke the display method. So and again we by using the object called C dot declared method. What is the method which we have declared here? Name of the method is display. Method is display, whether it is having any arguments or not, no arguments. So for that purpose we have declared a no arguments as null. So now by using this particular method M dot set accessible equal to true, so that will be accessible by this particular class called private example 4. So now M dot invoke, so that is going to invoke this particular method. So finally it is going to show that what it is going to do. So even though some exception is caused, so it has shown 2 warnings. Here it has shown 2 warnings. Even though it is going to show a particular output, private method is invoked. Accessing the private field and method using the reflection. So we have seen. So here we have created a particular method called method. So reflect. So we need to use a package. If you want to use a method of reflection, so you have to use this package. Import java.language.reflect.star. So reflect.star, language.star also enough. But if you doesn't know specific package, language.lang.star also enough. So if you know specific thing, so you need to mention dot reflect. So here we have created a class name is test, and we have declared a private variable string name and private method called display. So it is going to display the name. So here we have created a main method in order to access that particular thing. So here we are using a public static void main string array arguments. So within this one, we are using a try block. So basically, exception handling code is used to in a program where the error is going to occur. At the time, we are going to use a block called try. Try means, for example, you are having any doubt. So in this block, error may occur. For example, you are going to ask the user to enter a number. It may cause divide by 0. At the time, within the try block, if you are going to ask the user enter input A and B. So at that time he will be entering the A and B, A divided by B at that time. So you may get a error. Whatever the doubt you are having, so that particular thing you are going to keep in a try block. So here in the particular program, what we have done. So in the previous program, we have declared the two particular things as a private. First one is private string name as a private and private method, display method as a private. Two things we have declared as a private. One is variable and another one is method. Private variable and private method we have declared as a private. So next, here whatever the thing we are having a doubt, that will be kept in a try block. What is the name of the previous class? Previous class name is test. The class name of previous one is test. Here we are having a test is a class name. Now what we are going to do in the next program, what we are trying to do is we are trying to access the particular method here test. So we are creating the test object. Test object name is test equal to new instance of text. So that one we have created. Here if you are going to notice, both the class name and object name is same, but only thing is a capital letter. Here we are having a small letter. So next, one more thing is, here we are going to create a object, class object. So by using a test, we are using a test dot get class. So that this is another kind of reflection method. So next, field. So here we are using a field. So here we are using a field object name is field, object dot get declared field name. Field name means private variable string. So whatever the string you have declared, that particular field. So just we are going to declaring. So by using a object, we are going to declare. So here if you are going to notice, field is not a particular class, field is not a particular variable, field is not a particular method, but we are going to declare as a field. So that class, no need to declare a class explicitly. Explicitly means class field. So within the class some particular thing. So no need to declare. Once if you are going to create a particular name and space object equal, that is going to take as a class only. So next, object dot declared field name. So it is going to take as a name. So where name is there, so here we have declared a private string name. So name is here, private string name. So next, object field object dot declared field. So that is name. So that one is declared as a string, private string. In which class? Test. In test class, that is declared as a private string. So next, field dot set accessible is equal to true. So that it can able to access that particular method by using a field object. So field is a object of field class. But here one thing you need to notice, we have not declared a field class name space field. So next, object dot get declared method name. So name is a particular thing which you have used in the previous program. In a similar manner, here we are using a field. Next, here what we are going to do, so field dot access visible equal to true and field dot set. So now we need to set the variable. So what we have done, so we need to set a name for a field. So but the previous class we have declared a name as a string, private string. For private string, if you want to modify, so we need to use a method of reflection by declaring another class and using some other type of object that declared field or class for name. So by using that for method or this particular declared field dot set accessible is true. Now here we have used a field set. So we are going to set name is Pradeep. So now we are going to convert into string. So get the value of field and convert into string. So we need to convert into the string. So string value equal to string dot field dot test. So what is test? Test is a class name. So test is a object for class test. So here we are having a object name test. So here we have written get test. So that the field will be set for the value of string. So next, to access the private method. So we up to here we have used a private variable. What is variable name? We have declared private string name. Only name as a private variable. But in previous class we have declared one more thing. What is that one? We have used a private method. The name of the method is display. So I have given my name Pradeep. It has to be printed. So that one we are going to use here. So next, here again we are going to create a array. So method array object dot declared methods. So now it is going to get that system dot out dot println. So methods of 0, the 0 is the starting position, get name. So it is going to get the name. And again here what we are going to do is we integer value modifier we have given a name. So method of 0 dot get modifiers. So that it is going to get the modified value which is set by the field set. So we have given a field set Pradeep as a by setting the variable. So now we are going to use a get dot modifiers. So whatever the modified value is there, so that one we need to access. Here we are going to do use a here these kind of objects are pre-declared. So these kind of objects are pre-declared in the reflexive method. So whatever the import java.language.star if you are using, in that it is already defined. So these are some particular methods are there in Java, number of methods are there. So you can able to get this particular Java method called get modifiers, set accessibility is true, next for name. So next get class. So these are the number of methods are there in Java. So you can go through what are the methods are available in Java. So next, here what we are going to do is, here we are using a system out.println access modifier to string modifier. So now if any exception is there, so we are using in a try block. It means doubtful data is there, we are going to keep that particular data, we are going to keep in try block. So because those exceptions should be handled. So if any exception is there, so that should be catched. So for that purpose we are using a catch block. So if any errors are there, e dot print stack trace. So if there is only a single error, no problem. If there is a number of errors, line 24 error, line 23 error, or some other errors, so e dot print stack trace is going to, e is a exception object. Here we have used a exception e. So here we have used a exception e. So by using a e is an exception object. Exception is a topmost class of all the exception. E dot print stack trace, it will be catching the sequence of exceptions. So now we will see what is the output. So here it is going to show the name, whatever the name is entered, Pradeep is the name entered, and it also showing the name of the method display. Access modifier is private. Whatever the method is declared as a private, so it cannot be modified. By using a reflexive method, we can able to get the name. So this kind of methods is used during the hacking.